started streaming.
Rock and roll.
Bants and Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bombs and Bants.
We began as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome to the 421st live edition of Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from an undisclosed location hidden deep beneath the surface of the earth. With me, as always, is Mark.
Hey.
And the missus.
I'm sorry, I'm over here feeling censored and oppressed this evening.
Well, and in fact, we should tell everyone, and we'll tell everyone. Let's see, it's not showing that we're live yet on my screen, but that doesn't mean that means absolutely nothing. So, as we have discovered from previous things, so bringing everyone in to the drama that unfolded today. As you notice, if you are looking live, you'll see that episode 30 is showing up and it's available. Episode 31 is gone. And by gone, it has been removed from the face of the earth by the overlords at YouTube. And the reason why is I made a joke in passing. But here's the thing. I can't even tell you what the joke was. I can't tell you what the joke was because if I do, our podcast will be automatically censored by AIs. Not kidding, because I'm certain that no human actually went through and did this. Our podcast will be automatically censored by AIs. We'll have a third strike in all likelihood, and Bums and Bants will be gone forever. So but that's okay because, like anything, there's always an alternative.
Buyout. These are our demands. Your company cannot be worth that much. Our company is worth nothing. That's the difference between you and I. Business isn't about money to me, David. If tomorrow my company goes under, I will just start another paper company, and then another, and another, and another. I have no shortage of company names. Michael. That's one of them. Yes. These are our
That's one of them.
So it's, I guess, for the standpoint of the viewers, listeners, it's not like they're threatening to take CBS off the air. And it would be hard to find us because I'm certain we could get back to all of our listeners in relatively quick time and tell them what happened, and so that everyone would be aware. And the thing is, this is the thing that bothers me, and I'll get off the high horse relatively soon. Our program is really innocuous. It makes fun of things, but it's extraordinarily innocuous as programs go. And the joke I made was, it wasn't even that great of a joke. But you know what? It is the culture we live in. The missus, I know you have some things you want to say.
Oh, yeah, I do have a lot of things I want to say. And, I just feel it's completely that they... And then they have the audacity to also say... right in the rear, and that's how I feel about that.
Mark, and Mark just had this thrown on at him right before getting on the air. And so, Mark, without broaching any of the topics which are verboten, did you have any thoughts on it?
Well, it's 1984 in action. You committed wrong, so you must be punished.
Well, and I do have their list of community guidelines, and it says you can't be fake. You can't pretend to be what you're not. And I don't think my bad impersonations count at all of that. Oh wait, impersonation's the second one, but you can't really mean it. I mean, I can't be saying, "Oh, this is Elvis, and I want you to buy my Elvis hair cream." Because
great, now you're going to get us in trouble again because you're pretending to be Elvis.
But even the external links, if the external links you post to YouTube contain objectionable material, they'll nuke you. Spam, yeah, we don't have that.
Well, unless you're a leftist talking about educating children.
And then playlists, you can't have playlists.
Yeah, it depends on what you're educating them about. I mean, are you educating them about and then that's okay.
Yeah. So sensitive content, child safety, that makes sense. Thumbnails and nudity and sexual content, that all makes sense. They're against suicide and self-harm. Vulgar language, again, not something that we're going to hit on. Harassment or cyberbullying, unless it's Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, or Neil Young, probably they won't be. And they're public figures. They have their big boy pants on.
No,
I'm sorry.
I know Kamala goes to bed with her fist stuffed in her mouth to stifle the sobs every night because of what we say about her here on Bombs and Bants.
But did I just misgender her?
That's possible. I think you're thinking
hates.
Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to say it because we'll probably get dinged for that too.
Yeah.
Who you might be thinking about, but I think we all know.
Yep, you can't do hate speech, and we don't hate anyone here at Bombs and Bants.
Oh no, I hate people.
Violent criminal organizations, violent or graphic content. No, that won't be us. You can't. Firearms, very much a restricted topic. Sale of illegal or regulated goods or services. Also, we don't sell anything, so we're fine there. But then there are areas that might be more interesting. Misinformation. And that's really the Orwellian piece to this, is misinformation. And misinformation is whatever Google and YouTube and the leftist media doesn't believe the truth is at any given moment is considered misinformation. That's probably enough to
here's the funny
get us
thing
right
about
there.
this, right? Here's the funny thing about this is that a year ago, we did a lot of shows about this very topic that we are getting warned about now.
Mm-hmm.
They're fine. Those are still up. And it was a lot more than that one throwaway line that you said, which I think from now on we should refer to getting a bad lawn mowing job.
There you go.
Yeah, if we want to talk about, that lawn mowing job that we got in 2020, I just, it was a bad job. I thought it was fake grass.
Well,
and I mean, I don't like it was made out of creepy paper. I'm sorry, crepe paper.
Creepy paper. But that is the best thing for a vampire party, creepy paper.
I think it's crepe paper, master.
But if you look at perhaps an event that occurred maybe in 2016, and you look at the idea that someone else might have caused a problem, that's just fine.
That it might have been someone else who had done a bad lawn mowing job, and we might
Yes.
talk about what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one might even call that a lawn mowing job that was, I don't know, what's a good word to call that? I mean, the person who did that lawn mowing job, they called a lot of names.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But that's acceptable. Oddly enough.
I think maybe even they might have called him a fake lawnmower.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, just letting everyone know that that's what's going on, and there is indeed the possibility that this will be the last podcast in the iteration of Bombs and Bants. So,
Well, wouldn't it be a great way to go out if we got kicked out because of this conversation about lawn mowing we just had? That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I like turtles.
So anyway, that's where we are, and so I felt like trying to do an Alex Jones there. They're trying to stop us and stop the word from getting out. Well, no, it's a computer, and it's a computer that found two words it didn't like together, and it said, "That is verboten. You could not be having that. Can you show us your papers?" And in that, can you show us your papers, Mrs.?
Oh, right. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. It was so overblown by this thing that happened. I completely forgot about this that we got in the mail today. So this is officially that came from the United States government to our podcast, and it's from the Commission for Licensing Podcasts, which is weird because the word license is spelled wrong. Licence. That's wrong, right?
Are you sure it's not spelled license, Governor?
It's got an S in it, and I don't think that word does. At least
Okay.
not there. Okay. So I opened it up, and here's what it says. It's recently come to the attention of the United States government that the internet is full of fake news and misinformation. Weird that this would come on this day, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to better serve the people of the United States, you are now required to complete this form to register your podcast with YouTube and the United States government. Failure to do so will result in you being treated as a dirty, filthy, selfish anti-vaxxer regardless of your current vaccine status. So you can't prove your way out of this. Please complete this form and return it at your own expense by April 1st, 2022. What day is today?
That would be the 20th.
Okay, I did get this. We did get this in the mail today, so.
It's 420, dude.
Oh, that's right. Failure to do so will result in an immediate revocation of your podcasting license. So there's a list of questions here that we have to answer. So I thought I would bring this on so that you guys could help me with the answers on this.
Okay. So, Mark, you better take these. I'm being so upset as I am.
Okay. So the first one is name of the license holder. And I filled this one out because I didn't really know the name of any of Eric Holder's children, so I just put Mrs. the Missus.
Okay.
Does that work for you guys?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Name of podcast. Note, you may not use profanity or weapons in your podcast title. And since we have that first word in our podcast title, I changed the M in bombs to an O.
Booms.
No, the
Oh,
M.
rainbow.
It might be profanity now, though I'm not sure. Okay, question 3, and this is where I kind of started.
That'll increase our audience. Though.
Maybe we should get an OnlyFans account. Speaking of which, number 3, sex.
It's like
we're not allowed to have that on the show. I mean,
well, but there are like 700 now, right? So
no, those are genders.
Well, that's the next question: is gender identity.
Sexy.
Well, okay, sexy. I'll put that down. We still haven't filled out what sex is, though. We'll just put yes,
Blue Oyster.
yes,
no, blue,
please.
Put Blue Oyster Cult.
Blue Oyster Cult. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Number 5, preferred pronouns.
Your Lordship.
God Emperor.
I like that one.
You like that one? Okay. We can go with that one.
Okay, God Emperor. Number 6, sexual preference.
Often.
Covered in grease.
Okay.
Covered in grease.
Often and covered in grease. Okay. Number 7, are you willing to date outside of this preference?
Can
Absolutely not.
Can I get bacon grease?
I'll put that down. Only if I can get bacon grease. Okay. Number 8, are you willing to date an agent of the U.S. government? If yes, call the following number and ask for Dave.
Well,
I know, it seems like a weird question, but it's the government. What are you going to do? You got to fill it out, right?
I always like to think that my FBI agent is slowly cheering me along, hoping I make good life choices and straighten my life out.
Well, Dave's probably listening, so he just never chimes in the chat.
There you go.
Number 9, do you have any history of mental illness?
History? No.
Okay. Number 10, do you have any history of mental illness? I'm not kidding. It is what question both 9 and 10.
And I'll respond to history? No.
Okay. Number 11, do you have any tattoos? Oh, and it says here, not the little guy from Fantasy Island.
I was going to say Hervé Villachez is dead. So, I mean, does his mummified corpse count? Because, oh wait, I think
Do we have that somewhere in the house? I mean, it's
that'll
possible.
be a third strike. Well,
That's a third strike.
yeah.
No. Number 12. Do you have, nay, I think they mean any, visible scars?
Let Mark answer this one.
They're just emotional.
Okay.
So no.
Only the emotional ones. Okay, got it.
Deep inside.
Yes. Deep inside. Number 13. Do you like food?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So no.
Define food.
Absolutely not. Well, it's not the desiccated corpse of Hervé Villachez, okay?
That's
And in
more
fact,
jerky.
it says
That's
it
like
right. It says it right here on the sheet.
That's more of a jerky snack at this point, anyway.
Well, at least
Hey,
it's low
cannibalism
carb,
jokes.
right? At least it's low carb, right?
Hey, I just got a news flash in.
Yeah.
Right now, we have more listeners than Netflix.
So that's 2.
No, I think it's just us at this point.
Okay. Number 14. So we're just entertaining ourselves now, huh? Do you like going out to dinner?
With or without Hervé Villachez, and
There's no mention of him on this, so I think it could go either way.
Do I have to pay?
I think Hervé's paying.
Would someone call me a pretty girl at the end of the night?
It's possible because question 15 says, referring back to question 8, and that was the one about dating the agent of the U.S. government, would you consider dinner with an agent of the U.S. government?
Only if he's paying.
Okay, only if he's paying. I think that's acceptable. Number 16, this seems oddly specific too. When was your last vowel movement? And it is with a V, not a B.
A
that's
vowel movement?
Yeah.
Here's my problem. It was a Y. So what do I do with that? Sometimes
it only counts sometimes.
Right, that's my point.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it counts because it was
These questions are trickier than the SATs.
They really are. I mean, they're hard to fill out the tax forms.
Oh, I think I just probably violated the Scholastic Achievement Tests copyright, and so we'll get another. Oh, sure.
Yeah, probably that. Another check on that. Okay, number 17. How often do you use exfoliating creams? And this is important. Gels do not count. Creams only.
And sandpaper doesn't count.
No mention of that. Wait, no, here it is in the fine print. Coarse grit only counts.
Okay, fine grit doesn't. And what about?
It says anything coarser than 100.
What about that? Accidentally tripling the amount of chlorine in the hot tub causing a chemical peel from the hydrochloric acid eating your skin. Does that count? Oddly specific.
Let me check. There's a chart here.
I don't think that's a cream. I mean, unless we're talking.
Actually, it's on the chart and it says that's a gel. So.
Okay. All right.
The feds, they're all over this stuff. Okay, and number 18. How many expired foods are currently in your refrigerator?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. Why not? Oh, wait. That's another.
Yeah, if you sing that, man, you're going to get us a copyright notice.
No, if I sing that, that'll be a weapon of mass destruction. Nobody likes to hear me sing.
Number 19. How many times a day do you think about Rob Lowe?
Who?
Okay, I'll put Mark down for 0. What about Rob Zombie?
Oh, at least 20 times.
Okay, 20 at a minimum.
I did think about Yeah, but
Was it Rob Reiner? Because that's the next question.
Oh no,
Aren't they the same?
no. Rob Reiner smells much more like pepperoni,
And looks like a meatball.
and Rob Zombie smells like talcum powder and
Death.
like used and used gum. Really old gum.
I thought that maybe Rod Zombie was some secret identity for Rob Reiner. After he went insane for making all those what do I want to say, rom-com movies.
Rob Zombie in a rom-com?
No.
That could be
The
interesting.
Rob Reiner went insane and decided he needed a secret identity so he could make something other than a rom-com.
Date Night of 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah, see, Texas Roadhouse Massacre. No,
Number 20. Would you be willing to date an agent of the U.S. government who looks like any of these men?
Rob Zombie, Rob Lowe, or
Yeah,
Rob Reiner?
Yes. I think there's a little something for everybody there.
Not everybody. Yeah. Yes, I think that Rob Lowe would smell like silicone. Rob Zombie, of course, we got that, and Rob Reiner again. Yeah, the one thing about Rob Reiner is I think he's probably got more money than the other two, but I think he stores it in the folds in his skin.
Okay, number 21. Number of your past sexual partners who are now deceased. And again, this only counts if they were not deceased when you slept with them.
deceased or diseased?
Deceased, as in dead, as in no longer, room temperature.
All but one? I don't know.
More than
Okay.
none.
More than none.
More than none. Less than none.
We might have to have a talk when you get off the air.
I know my wife's giving me a funny look too. I was trying to be funny, but I think it's going to end up getting me killed.
So if Mark's not,
But you can't do
with us
any
next
violence
week,
while
yes.
we're on the air because
Yeah.
that'll get YouTube censors.
God, there's another strike, man, and all this while filling out our paperwork.
Yep.
Okay, number 22.
How many questions are there?
There are 26.
Okay.
Do you find people who work for the government sexually attractive? If yes, proceed to the last question on this page. If not, why?
Because the question says that if we do, we have to go to the last one. So if we don't, then that's why we don't go to the last one.
Well, and Cal Penn doesn't work for the federal government anymore, so I'm just out. No.
Okay, so you're out because of that? Okay, well then we're on to question 23. Next question. How many and what type of spoons do you own? Be specific and accurate.
Well, I have to do a count.
1, 2, 3. Oh, wrong count. How often do you get a cannibalism, necrophilia, Hervé Villachez, and the Count from Sesame Street in the same bit? Okay, next. On the attached form, please supply fingerprints of both hands, toe prints of both feet, and a complete set of butt cheek prints. Okay, I'll have to take care of that later while you guys are talking. I'll take care of that one. 25. Which would be a preferable way to die? 1. Being eaten by a pack of starving chihuahuas, or falling off a tall building into a vat of cotton candy, bouncing out, and then into a running wood chipper.
Neither.
A square root of 7.
Yeah, okay, 7. And then finally, number 26, the last question. Do you mind if I call you?
Oh,
I think,
my.
this is a questionnaire about the lonely lives of FBI agents.
Yes, indeed. Well,
Wait, there's more to it. There's more to it. Okay. Thank you for promptly completing and returning this form. Your prompt response is essential to eliminating misinformation on the internet. After review of this information you have provided, plus in-person interviews with your immediate family, best friend, ex-lover, second-grade teacher, and the kid who used to steal your lunch money in 4th grade, it will be determined if you qualify for a U.S. podcasting license. Please allow 3 to 4 years, for this review to take place.
Yep. And I'm going
All
to.
right, I will hustle that off to them tomorrow so that we can get this project going.
And I will note that the Codex Inquisitor are now on, just letting them know. This might be the last episode of Bombs and Bants for a couple weeks if we get another copyright strike. It's all
not
at
a
the beginning of the
strike. It was not a copyright strike.
Or no, not copyright strike, a content strike. So you can hear that all at the very beginning of the podcast. We go into details on it, but trust me, we have other options. So
hopefully, I think the lawn mowing discussion is going to take us down.
Yeah, I definitely think so. So I guess with that, that was the longest bit in the history of bits, by the way.
It's the government. The paperwork takes forever. But I want to make sure I'm on the right side of Uncle Sam. Wink.
There you go. So, all right. On to the show. My gosh. Let's go with cut number 1, because Zelensky is on every TV show everywhere. And he sat down with CNN to discuss the importance of fighting in Donbass region.
Before we get to that, though, one more thing about 420.
But if he's trying to get his message out, why is he on CNN?
I know, right? I just wanted to. I hope everyone remembered yesterday on 419 not to forget to put out milk and cookies for Willie Nelson last night on 420 Eve.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Carry on.
Okay. On to Zelensky. Here he is.
Because this battle, and it can happen, so there will be several battles, and we don't know how long it is going to take, it can influence the course of the whole war. Because I don't trust the Russian military and Russian leadership. That is why we understand that the fact that we fought them off, and they left, and they were running away from Kyiv, from the north, from Chernihiv, and from that direction, it doesn't mean if they are able to capture Donbass, they won't come further towards Kyiv. That is why, for us, this battle is very important for many reasons. It is very important to win this battle.
And was this before or after he asked for another $20 billion in U.S. money? He's actually asking for $1 billion a day, wasn't he?
Yeah, something like I thought it was like $70 billion a month, so it's more than a day.
Yeah, and so he is asking for. I mean, good heavens, man! And that's the thing. Everything that we're doing is prolonging this conflict, and every day this conflict is prolonged, more people die. Oh, and Jim, what's on this? I thought all the cool kids put a whole bunch of Y's at the end of Zelensky.
Was that an actual serious cut? I mean,
yeah, that was him. That was him on CNN. Mm-hmm.
That was a real thing.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was like comedic because of the way he kept on repeating that this is so important.
Well, that's kind of what I thought too. And he said some odd things, and I thought maybe that there might have just been some issues with the translator because, of course, he wasn't speaking English and Ukrainian at the same time.
Or he might be totally coked up.
Who can say?
Of course, if you see how his belly's grown over the last month, he's probably not coked up, but it's probably something else. But yeah, it was a real cut.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Because just because they withdrew from their advance from the north doesn't mean that won't take over the Donbass region and then just keep heading west.
And it seems like every time he talks, that they just want more and more from the West and specifically from the U.S. And there are forces, I think, inside the U.S. who tend to agree with that.
Yes, I would like to have 1,000 nuclear warheads. Can you tell me where the nuclear vessels are? Okay.
One of the best scenes from a Star Trek movie ever.
Yep.
Chekhov on the streets of San Francisco, asking for the nuclear warheads. That's the Voyage Home is my favorite Star Trek movie.
And Quizzer notes Kyiv is how morons in your life identify themselves. Feature, not bug. All right. So let's go with cut 2, because Democratic Senator from Delaware, Chris Coons, on Face the Nation, discusses his thoughts on the need to send U.S. troops into the Ukraine. I said the Ukraine.
Margaret, I think those of us in Congress who have a critical role in setting foreign policy and in advising the president in terms of his decisions as commander-in-chief need to look clearly at the level of brutality. This is a moment of enormous challenge for all of us. And I deeply respect President Biden's leadership in pulling together the West, in imposing crushing sanctions on Russia, and in bringing to this fight countries that had stayed on the sidelines before. I think President Biden's leadership has been steady and constructive, but this is a critical moment. If Vladimir Putin, who has shown us how brutal he can be, is allowed to just continue to massacre civilians, to commit war crimes throughout Ukraine without NATO, without the West coming more forcefully to his aid, I deeply worry that what's going to happen next is that we will see Ukraine turn into Syria. The American people cannot turn away from this tragedy in Ukraine. I think the history of the 21st century turns on how fiercely we defend freedom in Ukraine, and that Putin will only stop when we stop him.
Yeah, I thought it's amazing.
That comes from somebody who's never studied history. My gosh, I mean, you read about World War II and then compare it to what's going on now in Ukraine. I mean,
oh yeah, this isn't. This is, if you take Kharkov, this or Kiev, this isn't like the 50th worst thing ever to happen to Kiev. Okay. Oh my! Just noting that he's from Delaware, where they are trying to put a bill through to I believe, was it Delaware?
Yeah, he's Delaware, from Delaware.
Well, no, but I believe it was from Delaware, where they were looking to pass a bill to double the state income tax of parents of unvaccinated children. So
I thought that was Massachusetts.
Just some.
It's someplace up there. We were talking about it earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to take a saw, cut that stuff off, let it set it
like Bugs Bunny, just let him saw it right off.
Set it adrift. And Codex notes, I'm impressed. The guy managed to say, I deeply respect Biden's leadership without giggling. But again, I saw his face and it looked like he was having some really difficult tummy trouble. He doesn't have a pleasant face at all.
He really doesn't. No.
He has resting constipation face. Which is new. I just made that up.
Yeah. I think he's happy now because at least he has a name for it.
Yes, indeed. and now the insanity continues on the absolute denial of reality. Again, this will eventually get us this kicked off. Probably not this time, but cut number 3 is Biden has been busy at home, and he has made E15 legal for all vehicles. Now, what that does is ethanol is typically right now at this point cheaper than gasoline. Right at this moment. But guess what happens when you get E15? The cost is going to go up. But there's this other crazy thing. E15 will dissolve older engines. And E15 is also taking this crazy stuff we call food and putting it into engines. So why not hit cut 3, please?
I'm not going to wait to take action to help American families. I'm doing everything within my power by executive orders to bring down the price and address the Putin price hike.
It's all Putin's fault.
Putin price hike. Really trying to sell that, isn't he?
They're working it.
Oh my gosh.
And
well, I mean, it's not like the world's going to have a food crisis this summer, so why not why not plow an extra 1,000,000 acres under and put in, a corn that otherwise is unedible?
Well, and it's only out here in flyover country where no one actually lives anyway, right? I mean, nobody important.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And just noting that the place where we live is very non-flat and very moist in comparison to lots of places. That's a
And
that's
yet
a message.
there are a lot of fields where people grow food.
Yes, and there's this crazy thing, and so we were talking again, and I'm going to go a little bit into the family business here. We're talking about with your brother about fertilizing, and you know what? Price of fertilizer this year would be equivalent to the entire net proceeds from the area that would be fertilized.
Right. And we don't
So-
even grow human edible food. We do hay. So it's just
Mhm.
stuff that grows there naturally.
Yes, indeed. And so, this year, my thought is, well, let's see what grows.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Union Pacific and maybe some of the other railroads are restricting transport of fertilizer for some reason.
Well, no, what they did is they declared force majeure, and they declared force majeure in order to get a cut of the increased profits that are going to the fertilizer facilities. So the way these tariffs work, I don't want to bore everyone, but the way these tariffs work is if you've got a ton of coal, it costs X number of dollars to move from A to B. It's a published tariff, and it's a federal old railroad thing. So if you have fertilizer, they have a published tariff that says it costs $2 to get from A to B, and they're restricting the $2 piece, right? They say we need more than $2, so it's just a cash grab. All it is a cash grab to make up for their incremental costs, but also to try and claw a chunk out of the fertilizer manufacturers, who are going to be just raging. They're going to have baskets of money coming in. It's going to be huge. All right. And the other problem with the E15 and E20, I know you don't share this problem, is look at all the alcohol they're diverting that could be used for more beneficial purposes. All right. The president and the first lady hosted an annual White House Easter egg hunt. First Lady Jill Biden welcomed the crowd to the event.
As your first lady and as a teacher, I've seen again and again that learning doesn't only happen in a classroom. There are so many fun opportunities to learn around us every day. And that's especially true here at the White House. For generations, presidents and first ladies and kids just like you celebrated the Easter egg roll together, racing and making crafts, reading books, and of course, meeting the Easter Bunny.
So the president did actually learn something from that picture, because the first lady's talking about it, we're learning all the time, is that he learned the person standing behind him in that picture is not, in fact, the vice president.
Oh, is it the president?
Can you see the picture?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. But apparently he was at one point very startled by the person standing behind him. He was talking to a group of kids, I think, about Afghanistan. Why would you talk to a bunch of kids about Afghanistan? I don't get that. But then the person in the bunny suit came over and grabbed him and pulled him away so he would stop talking about that.
Is that a real thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No. And the question is, who's in the bunny suit? There's some thoughts that maybe it's Ron Klein. Maybe it is Kamala.
Or furries. Jen Psaki is a furry.
I know, but look at from the perspective of Biden. I mean, there he is talking to these kids, and suddenly this bunny grabs him, and what's going through his mind when that happens. He's like, "Oh crap! There's 2 giant bunnies."
No, now at least someone whose hand I can shake. Oh wait, Quizzer notes, Obama's in the bunny suit. It's Obama and Michelle. Michelle. Can we speculate?
No, I know, because I was going to make that joke earlier, and I didn't. I backed off that.
You can't.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to say that one of Barack Obama's buddies in college was named Michael. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right.
Sorry. I just had a cat trying a very demanding way to get my attention.
Yeah, again, you made it a little tiny crazy. All right.
I did not. I didn't do anything to the cat.
Stephen. Oh, wait. No, we're supposed to do a thing after Easter.
Yes,
buddy.
we are supposed to do a thing.
Do the thing.
Okay. Well, this is in honor of 420. And also because we all enjoyed well, we did until it got taken down, the language lessons from last week. So here's another one. Maybe. Where'd it go? Oh, that's the picture. Sorry. Here's the audio. Welcome to this week's language lesson. Last week we learned some handy Russian phrases, but this week we'll be taking on a more difficult challenge, explaining simple concepts to stoned millennials. Please welcome our stoned millennials. Madison.
Hey.
And Nevaeh.
It's heaven spelled backwards.
Okay then. Now let's begin. First up, the mail.
Email. Ugh, that's so old and slow.
No, real mail, or snail mail, as you might call it. Letters that a person called a mail carrier leave in your mailbox. Kind of like when you order something from Amazon.
Oh, Amazon.
If you get a package that comes from the postal service, though, they'll sometimes leave a note on your door. What do you do then?
Have my mom take care of it?
Wait for Amazon to deliver it?
No. You have to go to the post office and pick it up.
I don't get it.
Why can't they just let Amazon deliver it?
Up next, what should you do if you go to someone's house, text them that you're there, but they don't respond?
Call the police because they're probably dead.
Oh, I bet that's true.
No, right?
Go without them?
No. You should ring the doorbell.
Oh.
That's the little button on the wall that takes pictures of the porch pirates.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Why would they need a picture of my thumb?
They don't. It rings a bell inside the house so that they know you're there.
That is so stupid.
Now, here's a hard one. How do you bake a potato?
Oh, I got this one. Call DoorDash and order one.
That's a really good idea.
Oh, thanks.
You're cute. Order one on Amazon?
No, you just put some holes in the potato with a knife and then place it in the microwave. Then hit the button that says baked potato.
My mom says I'm not allowed to use the microwave.
I think I'll just get a guy to do it for me.
How about you, baked potato baby?
You're cute.
I don't know why I even bothered. Whatever. Anyway, this has been another helpful language lesson. And there you go. Simple concepts as explained to stoned millennials.
What's a doorbell? Just kidding.
Here's my little addition. So if I press the gas and the brake at the same time, does that cause my car to take a picture?
No, it turns it off.
It's a screenshot. Okay. All right. Stephen Colbert, who hosts one of the late night TV network Talking Face Men, took time last week to skewer Elon Musk and demonstrate his own lack of knowledge about what freedom of speech is.
In a statement, Musk said he decided his initial investment wasn't enough and now believes Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company and that his goal is to make Twitter the platform for free speech around the globe. Hey, you ding-a-ling. Twitter's already an international platform for free speech. You know how I know that? Because no one at Twitter can stop me from tweeting, "Suck it, Elon Musk," in every language.
How ironic that we would play this clip on the show this week, huh?
Yes, and in fact, again, when you look at the censorship inherent in big tech, it's like Cthulhu. Cthulhu always swims left, and all the censorship swims left, and it never ends, and that's why Elon's out there doing this. Now, again, I'm not sure that I completely trust Elon, but I trust him more than I trust Barack Obama.
Well, and that's not the only place where Elon was in the news this week. We had Newt Gingrich on Fox News talking about, excuse me, how Elon and his plans for Twitter actually represent a threat to the political left.
So my hope is he's going to really go after these guys. You know, if you're on the hard left, you don't want freedom of speech. You want freedom of your speech and nobody else. You got a little bit of this yesterday when we had a congresswoman objecting to people singing Christian songs on Easter. This whole notion of I get to define what your free speech is, and I think that Musk represents a danger because he doesn't follow the rules.
Right.
He's a real, I think, genuine libertarian.
And one of the things I think that people misunderstand about Twitter is its place in the idea ecosystem of the world. I am not a regular user of Twitter. I cannot go through the day without seeing dozens, sometimes over 100 tweets that have been cut and pasted into news articles, into posts, into nooks and crannies of the internet that haven't seen a scrub brush in a long time. So Twitter is an amazingly, it has a very, very long reach.
It outpunches its weight.
What did you just say?
It punches out of its weight class.
Yes, absolutely. What are your thoughts on this remark?
Well, first of all, I thought it was funny that he thought a libertarian was going to pose the most danger to free speech. But anyway, no, I agree. But really, in reality, a lot of the blame should go back on Congress, because Congress could have at any time made free speech a requirement of these companies' immunity from liability for what's posted on their sites.
But no one's ever bothered to do that. No one's ever made them liable, because they are acting as curators. They are acting as publishers rather than just a neutral platform.
Well, I agree totally. As soon as they start editing, they are, in fact, they've turned themselves into publisher. But that is not. But the government, we don't see the Department of Justice cracking down on them, nor do we see big corporations cracking down on them for that. We don't, and Congress is refusing to do anything to change what's going on with it. I mean, we can blame these companies all we want. They're just, but that's like blaming the scorpion for stinging the frog. I mean, it just, it's in their nature to do that. That's why we have Congress and laws and so forth. Now, Congress has granted them this special immunity that nobody else enjoys. Why not put conditions on it? But they won't. And I know this idea has been floating around for years. So, it's not like my idea. I mean, I've been hearing this as an idea for years.
Yeah, but you do notice one thing: as soon as Elon Musk put that offer in for Twitter, the Department of Justice announced that they were investigating him for everything. The DOJ announced they're doing a comprehensive investigation of Elon Musk for spins wheel, everything he could have done or possibly might have done that we don't like.
And, you know, and the thing that bothers me about this and the whole thing that we talked about when we opened the podcast today is that it seems to me that there is pressure coming from the government. And we know who's in charge of the government now. And it seems to me that they're using this as an end run around the Constitution to get private companies to do things that they are not legally allowed to do.
Well,
and by
yeah,
that I mean the government, things that the government is not legally allowed to do, but that private companies are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in fact, sometimes the government will sue private companies to do things that the government wants to, but they can't. And then they come up with a settlement. So they say, okay, we'll do a settlement. And sometimes the government will take a settlement from a private company so that the government, again, can swim left.
Yeah. Well, and I noticed that this always only goes one way. You know, I noticed the thing that we got in trouble for with the lawn mowing, wink, wink.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But that the last guy who was in charge of lawn mowing got called all sorts of terrible things, even a fake lawnmower who worked for other people, not necessarily his own lawn mowing company. But that was okay. And I think that probably is still okay, but I'm not going to take the chance and run another strike for us.
And I
probably got like 6 this podcast.
Yeah. And I read it, and I read an article title that said, I'm just reading an article title that said, "The deep state exists, and I am so glad." So, well,
we aren't quite done yet because we have that other clip that I forgot to put on the sheet. Remember, because this was a big story this week. And
you talk us into it.
It was the mask mandate being yanked back by that judge in Florida. Florida, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here's the announcement, and this is on Alaska Airlines, and the audio is kind of bad, but you kind of get the gist of it.
It's over immediately. Congratulations.
And it was the captain announcing overhead, "It's over immediately, congratulations," and then clap, 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 clap. But of course, the Justice Department, the CDC has asked the Justice Department to appeal. So
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well.
Oh, that means you know what it's time for.
It's the Kamala Harris of the Week Award.
I think we should just call it that. Here.
This is Neil Young.
Hey! Get that jackass out of here!
And I'm proud to present my brain jackass of the week.
Kamala just cannot take not being in the spotlight. She likes bringing this trophy home. And she has done it again, once again, this week, with her explanation of the importance of space while speaking to a crowd of servicemen and women at Vandenberg Space Force Base on Monday. Here it is.
I think everyone here recognizes how extraordinary space is. Whether it is satellites that orbit the Earth, humans that land on the moon, or telescopes that peer into the furthest reaches of the universe. Space is exciting. It spurs our imaginations, and it forces us to ask big questions. Space, it affects us all, and it connects us all.
And to be clear, she's speaking to an audience of adults.
She sounds like she's addressing third graders.
Right.
Space between my ears, the final frontier. So the Brain Jackass of the Week Award is now officially called the Kamala. Just like the Academy Award is called the Oscar.
Trophy that. The trophy is called that. It's the Kamala.
It's the Kamala. And we ought to start actually printing these and sending them to her, and send one a week and just see what happens. Oh wait, we know what would happen, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I got sound on this. Hang on, let me find it. Oh, it's lost. I can't find it. Where's it at? Dun, 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 dun. While I'm looking for this stupid soundbite, where is it? You know, see, I wish I could organize. Here it is.
FBI, open up!
Yeah.
There you go.
Found it.
And the moment's gone.
Yeah, I know. It took me too long.
But that's, well, You're describing the outro. Normally, it'd be, at this point of the podcast, I would be looking for more stories, but we have gone through it, and I think we did a fine job this week. Again, note at the very beginning, we will be back even if we lose this channel. Just letting you know, we described it at the beginning. So,
Even
I'm
if we
John.
aren't, we'll miss you.
I'm John.
I'm Mark.
And I'm the missus.
I know, too soon. Too soon, I know.
Y'all come back now, you hear? And we'll try.